I'm here telling you my story of like, can you believe that happened? Because I could not. Whoever said that Utah is a social experiment, they're so right. I'm so glad you've tuned in because I'm going to be chatting, rambling with you about all the weird stuff that happened to me this week while living in Utah. And also, we're going to gossip about the secret lives of Mormon wives and all that drama. I want you to leave me all your comments, theories, and all of that down below. Please, 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 I want to hear your thoughts. It's just so unhinged, everything that is happening right now. But I'm just so excited to have this community, and I love having this community where we can talk about all these things. And this is a break from my usual mostly makeup content, although I'll do a sprinkling, just a sprinkle of social commentary, like literally just a sprinkle. If you want to see more of my commentary content, you can tune into the Soak Opera podcast. I will have that linked right here. I do it with my bestie. We have 9 episodes of us talking about what it's like to live in Utah, all the weird things that happen here, and we talk about reality TV in Utah, so Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Make sure to subscribe. We're a pretty exclusive crew here. But if you think you're cool enough, I'll allow you to join and you can subscribe for free. Wow. Okay, let's continue with the video. Basically, living in Utah is like living in the upside down. I have no other way to put it. Let's talk about it while I get ready. So get ready with me and we're gonna talk about all the wild stuff that's been happening with the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And then also some crazy stuff that's happened in Salt Lake City locally. Go ahead and subscribe to hear more of my storytelling. It's absolutely free for you. You can also follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I occasionally post there too. We're just gonna have so much fun. Okay, if you're new here, I was living in Indiana, but I have returned to the great Salt Lake City. I went to college here and I have family that lives not too far away. I went to high school in Idaho. So basically, I'm kind of a mountain girl. I do have some new followers, so let's do like a whole about me sort of situation. So, soy boricua de Puerto Rico. I've been thinking about maybe doing a video in all Spanish. I think that would be super fun. But basically, I was born in Puerto Rico, lived there for a little bit, and I've lived all over the US, but I went to high school in Idaho, came to Utah for college, went to Indiana to do my master's, and have come back to be closer to family. We moved back not too long ago. We're mostly adjusted now. It's been a little bit. But yeah, basically we moved back and things are crazier than ever. I mean, things personally have been the most chill, the most fun, the most nice. It's just things around Utah have absolutely popped off and gone super crazy. Let's start off with the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives just to like give a little context. So I've been in my filming bag. I've been filming and doing all this stuff around vlogging and everything. It was just my birthday at the beginning of March. That was super duper fun. And I've just been trying to get my life back together so I can consistently post again. While I was watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I absolutely binged it. The day it came out, I watched all of it. And I was doing my rewatch while I'm blow drying my hair, there was a outside, which I don't know if you know this, downtown Salt Lake City has to be one of the safest downtowns of a major metropolitan city in the US. It has to be one of the safest. The Mormon culture, makes it so like the bars aren't open super late. People in general don't get pretty rowdy. Like everything's pretty chill. And so when there was a like gunshots just don't really happen very often out here. And I was absolutely shook. So far, what I've seen, everyone is okay. The situation was that there was a bar fight that happened, like a 20-person bar fight, and no one died. Like someone like discharged their weapon, and then a bystander 60 yards away was hit. As far as I know, they're okay. It was like, it's still like, it shook me up because even when I lived in Indiana, we would hear a little bit too, but like usually like fireworks around like the holidays, people are like in the air and like, you know, all that kind of stuff is like pretty chill because because usually if you're going to be harmed by someone, it's someone you know. It's not usually by a stranger. And so that shook me up. I was like 1 a.m, blow drying my hair. I stay up all kinds of late during the night because I do what I want. But yeah, so I was terrified. Literally, like, I didn't even want to, I was like, wait, what did I just hear? And there were so many, I thought it was fireworks at first, but then I was like, no way, like fireworks don't sound like that. And it was so close that I thought I was like, I'm going to look out the window and I'm going to be next. Like, no. So that was crazy. My husband was also out of town for work. And my husband's from Philly, and Philly's a hard city. Like, I mean, obviously my husband empathized with me. He sympathized for me. He felt bad that he was like, what the heck? But he was like, also like, call me when you hear it's just blasting. And I was like, yeah. But basically being a small town girl, I was like, that is insanity. And I've also like in the mountains, people go hunting. I've shot before. I've done like clay shooting before, a la Lisa Barlow from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I've done that before, but it was just like, I was shocked. And maybe that's just because I'm like sheltered, but yeah. Basically, I like had no freaking clue what to do. Everything's fine. Like, Salt Lake City is still a very safe city to live in. It was more just like, I'm here telling you my story of like, can you believe that happened? Because I could not. Thankfully, everyone's okay. But yeah, I was definitely all kinds of shaken up. The other crazy thing I have to say that happened was a couple of days later in my apartment trash, someone had thrown away a life-size doll. I was jaw dropped. I like took a peek and I was like, what is that? And I just felt so sad. And like, I'm instantly like, I'm the kind of person where I personalize everything. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like, how dare they do this to her? I was like, she should have been buried, like, after everything she's done for whoever threw her away. Like, it was so sad. And I'm just hoping that like whoever had her, like, maybe that's like an incel who like touched some grass and like realized that they could be brave enough to talk to a human woman. Like, maybe that's what I'm hoping. It was someone who was moving out of my apartment. But yeah, again, like all of this happened like within days of each other, and I was just like, what is even happening? Like, notice how I'm like, oh, like I'm totally fine that they had a doll. I'm more just like, how could you do this to her? I'm more sad about the treatment of her. Couldn't even fully put her in the garbage can. Okay, like I'm out here breaking my back, making sure to be a good neighbor and break down my boxes, and this person couldn't even fully put this human-sized box in the garbage. Okay. So not me. I'm starting off, obviously I just gave you the most piping hot tea ever. And then we're going to get into the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I do have to say really quick that for me personally, all of this ended up really nicely because I did go to the Heather McDonald comedy show downtown here at Wise Guys. That was so much fun. I am a huge fan of Juicy Scoop. I love Heather McDonald so much. She's so cool. I've been watching her since her Chelsea Lately days. I loved her book, You'll Never Blue Ball in This Town Again. I just like really love her comedy. I think she's freaking hilarious. She makes me laugh so much. The podcast is so great. I love that she talks about Real Housewives. Like, we love all the same things. I don't do as much of the true crime, but honestly, with everything that's happened, I'm like, maybe this is a sign. Like, maybe I need to get more into it. But yeah, let me show you the picture of us together. I'll put it right here. Like, it was just like, oh my God. So yeah, basically it was just amazing, like all the stuff that's been happening in terms of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Utah has been getting so much attention in popular culture. It was just like perfect timing that Heather came right when all these allegations and the videos and everything from Taylor Frankie Paul have come out. I should probably zoom you in a little bit more, actually. Like, why am I doing this get ready with me and you can't even see what I'm doing? Basically, like, I devoured the whole show, and this past weekend, right before The Bachelorette is supposed to come out, the video that you may or may not have seen, like a DV situation, interpersonal violence. And I'm not going to talk too much about it just because like there's nothing I can say or do that will change her situation. I do want to see the show. I'm like, just go ahead and drop the entire season on Hulu. I want to watch the whole season. Okay, I want to judge for myself what's going on there. And I just really want those two people to stay away from each other. They most likely won't, though. Unfortunately, I've seen it a lot. I want to say culturally in the US, we act like these kinds of situations are completely one-off and totally isolated, but no. Interpersonal on this level happens very frequently. It's very normalized. We talk about it. We joke about it a lot. A lot of people have been talking about how the NFL, the NBA, sports in general, like there's a lot of athletes. I think I've mentioned it before. I play fantasy football. I don't draft people on my fantasy team that have any charges, any domestic charges on them. But of course, these national leagues continue to allow people who have harmed other people, even with video evidence, to continue to play. And again, I just think all of it is heartbreaking, the fact that we hurt other people in this way. And the main takeaway is to love yourself first. I really wish I could be like, Taylor, please, do you see yourself, like, take a step back. Do you see yourself right now feeling yourself getting this amped up, like the fight or flight? Like, take a moment, take a step back, leave the situation, because it's like self-regulation is the most important skill you can learn and practice. It takes a long time, a lot of practice, and yeah, it's just, oh my gosh. And I think, like, and now we're going to talk more about the show. In this season, we hear more about Taylor's biological father, and he was an addict and passed away from an overdose. Super sad. Leanne is discussing so Leanne is Taylor's mom. Taylor's mom they have dinner with Taylor's dad's best friend. And he brought up a situation where Taylor's biological father actually kicked Leanne in the abdomen while she was pregnant with Taylor. And like, see, that's an example of like these cycles repeat, like this level of trauma stays within you, like within your DNA. And it's not, none of this is an excuse. This is just like an explanation and more of just like added observations. And honestly, like, please don't come here if like, please don't keep watching if you want popular opinions on the show, because I don't have them, okay? I don't have them. So yeah, basically it's super duper sad and very upsetting what happened. And these women are very young, but also at their age you would have guessed, because like they're all like in their late 20s, early 30s. And you would think like by that time, like, oh my gosh, like you're an adult, you should like already know better. But it's again, like, when you are so stunted, so sheltered, when this kind of behavior is normalized, because again, I could not tell you there are countless stories in Utah of the rates of interpersonal here are astronomical. And again, it is so, like, all signs point to the LDS church and like patriarchy, capitalism, and the unique environment that Utah culture creates to allow this to happen, to allow this to keep happening. And I'm just gonna like let that thought trail off there. I feel like I should do like a brighter under eye, but also I don't want to get up, and I don't think that I have a creamier concealer that's gonna really like make it pop, so I'm just gonna roll with it, okay? Basically, Utah is a strange place to be in when it comes to navigating interpersonal relationships, like navigating intimate relationships, and like interesting, strange, whatever, like difficult. And I grew up Catholic, not even Mormon. I grew up Catholic, and the exclusion that I felt, like I didn't date very much when I was younger in high school, because straight up no one was allowed to date me because I wasn't LDS. And looking back, I'm like, okay, blessing. And I also didn't have the same hangups about like, oh, you're not allowed to like get to know yourself intimately because like that's a sin. You're supposed to do that within the confines of a married relationship. Having multiple romantic partners in your lifetime is a bad thing. Like that reflects negatively on you. But again, like getting married to someone after knowing them for a month, especially in this modern day and age, like that doesn't pan out. Like that didn't pan out well for our great-grandmothers, our grandmothers, our moms, and it's not panning out well for us. it's just hard trying to figure out how to do any of that. And I know I'm speaking from a place of incredible privilege, like white passing Puerto Rican. I found being raised Catholic but not actively practicing, and then finding a transplant, finding my husband who isn't from Utah, and he did grow up Catholic too, so we both like have that shared background, even though we're not active in the church. That really worked out very well for us, and we're very fortunate that everything lined up the way that it did for us, because I know that is not the case. It is relatively unique in Utah for that to happen. So yeah, basically their situation is a mess upon mess upon mess, and it's super duper sad to see. Now I'm putting on bronzer. And then we also have Jessi Draper with her impending ex-husband Jordan. Jessi's a successful hairstylist, and she's so gorgeous, and it's so sad to see. She shared more on the show about her struggles with her image, with her self-image and self-esteem. Her husband is besties with Dakota, and I'm sure that they just amp each other up. And that's what captivated, like, all of this is what captivates us so much about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Is it is not normal to see in Utah women who are strong, who are powerful, who make money, have money, and to have more power in their relationships. And still we see in the relationships that even though these women have everything, they are gorgeous, talented, smart, and make money, and yet they are still having these tensions, these frustrations, these problems in their romantic relationships, in their straight romantic heterosexual relationships with these men. Like, you would think they have it all, like, oh my gosh, like, wouldn't it just be so easy? But we're seeing, no, it's not easy. It's like, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can still end up in a really bad relationship. Bad, harmful, toxic, dangerous relationship. Oh my gosh, that's too much bronzer. So yeah, Jessi shared more with us. We are seeing more about dad talk and Jordan, and like, to be honest, I actually do like seeing the marriage. I do like seeing marriages in reality TV. Unfortunately, so much of them suck. So I'm actually like, be gone, sir, be gone. And like, besides the fact that I'm not Mormon, I didn't date very much in high school because I'm mean. I run a strict program over here. I'm just like, okay, the second I don't like something, I'm walking away. And I used to get myself so amped up, and so like, I'm a child of divorced parents, and so I've been going to therapy since I was like 11 at least. And like, I've been going to therapy like on and off since then. Like, it takes a long time still to like grow up around a dynamic where relationships aren't productive, relationships like aren't working, where the conflict is starting to get really destructive versus getting towards the shared goals. Because you're, even in the happiest, healthiest of relationships, you're still going to have disagreements, because those disagreements are like, okay, this is where we need to clarify where we both stand and how we can both move forward. Like, because again, life is all about like, new things happen, things change, and it's like, how do we grow closer together? So being able to handle conflict in a healthy way is a very important skill to have. And just, a partner who is meant for you will bring you peace. Relationships that are positive and healthy bring you peace. They bring you calm. When things don't work out, you are to lean on each other and grow together. And this goes for friendships and romantic relationships. So yeah, this season was basically just like off the wall, watching how negatively Taylor Frankie Paul and her relationship with Dakota is going, and then also Jessi Draper with Jordan. And if any of you are starting, like, I just have to say, so like I mentioned, I've been in and out of therapy for a long time, but also a major breakthrough that I did was I read Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. I highly recommend reading that. Like, if you find yourself trying to control other people or feeling like you yourself are out of control, read that book. It's just great to set boundaries, to learn who you are, how to love yourself, because so many things was like, oh, self-care, self-love. And it's like you're here right now. We're doing my makeup together. Maybe you're doing your makeup together too with me. But self-care isn't just like self-care, and self-love is not just throwing on a face mask and doing a bubble bath. It's doing the hard work of figuring out who you are, who you want to be, visualizing yourself receiving and accepting the love that you deserve from yourself, from other people. It's doing the hard stuff that you don't want to do, like taking care of your obligations, doing your homework, paying your bills, all of those things that are frustrating and scary to do. It's doing all of that. So definitely check out that book. If you like, I wish Taylor Frankie Paul, I want to be like, Taylor, please. But again, all we can do is focus on us. Like, at the end of the day, it's all focus on cleaning up our own side of the street, focusing on how can I control me. And that is a great segue into Layla in The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She's so gorgeous and so young, and she shares her struggle with an eating disorder. She shares her struggle with taking GLP-1s, even though she's already very, very, very thin. And of course, being in an industry like social media that prioritizes how you look, and being a model where it is very important in modeling to be thin. We've known for years, like, even with how body trends have gone through the years, even plus size models are usually regular size people, and they just say, oh, these are plus size models, which again, like, makes no sense. But all of this is to warp our perception of ourselves, so we feel bad, buy things, and support capitalism to make ourselves feel better. And then before we know it, we've spent all our money, nothing's changed, we just continue to be sad and spend more money. And I think a big part of self-love is to, like, I very much, it's like so funny because like I like put in something to be like, hey, can you please analyze this post, I want to make this post, like, what does this say about my brand? And it was like a picture of me in a bikini. And y'all, I'm just a person in a flesh sack. I'm living in this flesh bag. And the thing that came out was like, oh, body positivity. I was like, what? Body positivity? Obviously was like, girl, since you're not a size 00, it's giving body positivity. What? Okay. I'm very much body neutrality over here. Like, I just exist. Like, I was hoping it was going to be like that bikini, almost too small, but girl, you're working it. That's what I thought. I thought it was going to give me a read on modesty. I thought it was going to read me down, saying that I look like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to. But no, instead it was like, oh yeah, body positivity. Okay, whatever. Because again, like, body neutrality. My body is just a body. I was like, love my mom. I was born against my will, okay? Now I have to pay taxes. It's like, I had to grow up doing all my homework. Like, what do you mean? I was supposed to be a cat. I was supposed to be born a cat. But no. I was destined to be sunbathing. Just a furry little kitty. Because spiritually, I'm Garfield, okay? Anyway. Oh, my husband just came home. One moment. Okay, y'all, I'm back. We've got more supportive lighting going on. Hopefully, things look similar to what they looked like. Anyway, so I think we were talking about Layla. Before I get back into all of this, I wanted to mention I did a podcast with my bestie. Check it out. It's the Soak Opera podcast, where we talked about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and all weird things Utah. Just all the interesting things about living in Utah, specifically when it comes to makeup, fashion, beauty, just living here. It's so fun. Check that out. Now let's get into the rest of the video. So I did find some different concealers, so I'm gonna use those. So I think we left off talking about Layla. She was super brave in telling us about her struggles with her eating disorder and taking GLP-1s. I just really appreciated her vulnerability in sharing that with us. I know that that was really hard to share that on a national platform. I really enjoy Layla as play the role of like the audience. Like she reacts how the audience would react. Like in the car when Chase and Mason were talking about dad talk going to the villa, and she was like, okay, and all these other situations, she really comes through with these hilarious facial reactions, and she's so freaking gorgeous. So seeing her face go like, what, is so funny. And she just got signed to a modeling agency, so I'm super excited for her and to see her in more campaigns. That'll be so cool. And next, let's talk about Mayci. I love Mayci. She and I are fellow Pisces, and we are also man haters, which I think is the best way to go about it. Running a strict program, I think, is the best way to have relationships, to have really strict boundaries and just be like, okay, you're a 7, she's a Pisces. Does that kind of look really weird having such a bright under eye? I think it kind of does. I kind of don't like it. We're gonna live with it. In the show, she shares her main drama plot point in the show is she has her book and she's going on doing her book tour, and she was struggling with promoting her book after just having a baby. And then she asked Jessi to host her book tour event that was one of the tour stops was in Salt Lake, here in their hometown. And so she asked Jessi, and Jessi had agreed, and then blah, blah, blah. If you watch the show, you'll see it. And I thought she handled it pretty well. I would have handled it kind of similarly. Like, I probably would have been like a little bothered by it, but not said anything. And then it resolved. So I'm glad that all of it resolved. Something that I have not yet seen talked about is the kind of exchange that she had between her and her husband, Jacob. People have talked about how there is a scene where Jacob talks about receiving the priesthood at 12 years old, which is really important for young Mormon men. Again, I'm Catholic, so if I want to talk to Jesus, if I want to talk to God, if I want to talk straight to Mary, I will. I don't understand this, it's not my religion, so I don't understand the specifics of that sort of situation, but I do understand the whole power dynamic that it creates. If you've seen Big Love on HBO, that shares a little bit more about it too. So basically he's just like, well, as a man, I'm supposed to lead the household, but I let Mayci do whatever. Which is hilarious because you know for a fact that Mayci runs the show, and she allows Jacob to think that he runs the show. And I did appreciate the fact that he does care about her business, because he was their tiff was she's frustrated and overwhelmed being a mother to a brand new newborn, having to talking so much about her trauma with her book and everything like that. And she basically needs boots on the ground, someone to help her do these tangible things around her business. And Jacob is giving her strategy advice, which love the strategy advice. Jacob, very helpful. I thought that was really insightful, but of course I would not want to hear that at that moment. I would have been like, did anyone ask you? I'm so then do it. So do it. Okay, Jacob, he obviously does have some sort of acumen towards business, and I would love to see him typing away at hey honey, I took these really cute pictures of you and I put them all together, and all the stuff that you've been saying, I wrote it down and I drafted out an Instagram post to promote your book. I think your girls, as in her followers, her community, I think they would really like that. And if he were to help her with that, I think that would be amazing. And so I was like, okay, Jacob, how about instead of doing strategy, how about go implement it? That's my 2 cents on the matter. I don't think that Jacob is that bad. I do think it's funny that Mayci was like, okay, London Jacob, she's like, excuse me? Who allowed you to speak? Which, honestly, I thought was hilarious. That was really the extent of their whole situation. And I also wanted to say, too, that I felt for Mayci because she's feeling really impacted by all the things that are happening with Taylor and the group, because she is really playing mediator. And I would love to tell her, hey, Mayci, you're an amazing friend, and I can see that you want to help them so badly. At the same time, if helping out your friends and getting so involved in their personal business is impacting you personally and impacting your business, that's a sign that you need to back up and focus on you and focus on your business. Your personal affairs and your business should always come first before helping anyone else. Just like how on the airplanes they say put your mask on first before you help other people put their mask on. Exactly, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, and it will just lead to resentment if you're constantly helping other people and neglecting yourself and your business, especially when it comes to making your money. But again, that just goes to show how much Mayci cares about Taylor and how much she cares about her friends. I would totally love to be Macy's friend. She sounds so fun and she's so sweet and caring. All the ladies I think are fun and have cool things about them, and I would I would die. Now let's talk about Whitney. So Whitney's having her success with Dancing with the Stars. She's fun. She's really stepping into herself. Her star is starring. Her star is on the rise. Her husband is incredibly supportive, and I love to see that for her. Her husband is hands down the most supportive, the most invested in Whitney's future, the most invested in their relationship success. And it's fun to see Connor advise the other men, the other husbands, because he really is so insightful. And so that was just so fun to see. And she truly is such an amazing dancer. I'm so happy for her that she did so well in Dancing with the Stars. And it's so cool that she's doing Chicago, that she's playing Roxy in Chicago. Next, let's talk about Jen. And Jen, I have a really complicated relationship with because I enjoy her. I think she's fun, and at the same time I'm a little confused by her because I relate to her because in some ways she really tries really hard to be this good girl, but at the same time I do think that she is really stuck on image, looking a certain way, and I don't know how much that does for her personally. I'm sure it doesn't help too that Zach is not very supportive, and Zach also does have this idea of their public image. His whole, like, if all the men in his family are cardiologists, like, or heart surgeons or whatever, I'm sure that there is a lot of familial pressure there. But at the same time, it's like, I can see how that negatively impacts Jen. And I can also understand why Zach is so frustrated by being a stay-at-home dad, because he's never had that example set for him before. And honestly, I would love to see, this is partially my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is that they should get more childcare and Zach should go back to med school. I think if he goes to med school, becomes a heart surgeon, blah, 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 like if he does his thing, that will keep him busy, and Jen should continue to pursue her own success, pursue her own dreams and goals of being a dancer or whatever it is that she wants to do. Because again, I think two people following their goals together and supporting their love and family together is way better than having this whole like, oh, I sacrificed and now it's your turn. And it's like, no. Again, resentment, frustration, I would say don't do that. For them to stay together and have a successful relationship, I think that both of them should work. Okay? I don't think that they should live in this dichotomy of, oh, like one of us cannot work. Honestly, the main takeaway from the show is childcare is incredibly undervalued and childcare is incredibly important. Okay, next let's talk about Mikayla. And I love Mikayla. I think she is so funny. I enjoyed hearing more about her. I'm a little saddened by this situation between her and her husband, because I really feel, or at least the message I'm receiving from their interactions together is they do love and care for each other. And their main issue is having intimacy issues stemming from trauma that Mikayla has. And my heart breaks for Mikayla. And while they do have a age gap in their relationship, like we can't go back and change anything. They have their children and they have their family to love and protect. And I would love to see them stay together. But again, like they have to live their life. But I'm definitely not going to join the people who are saying that they should separate, because I'm not like Dakota and Taylor. There's a million reasons in the world why they should not be together. Jessi and Jordan, there's a million reasons in the world that they should not be together. But when it comes to Jace and Mikayla, I don't see that really. I see that there's a lot of love between them. But again, like I'm on the outside. I'm a stranger who doesn't know them, who's not in their marriage, blah, blah, blah. I only am seeing what I'm seeing on the show. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention, I forgot to mention this when it came to Jacob and Mayci. I thought it was so freaking hilarious when all the men and all the husbands are talking about going to Villa Rosa for the show. I thought it was hilarious that Jacob was like, I don't know why we can't just take our kids to the park and stay in Utah. I thought that was amazing. I was like, yes, Jacob. I think he definitely had, like, besides Connor, Jacob is one of the husbands who understands the gravity of being present and caring for his kids. I know, I'm like talking so much and taking forever to do my makeup. This is gonna be a very fun video to edit. If you like long, rambling videos, this one's for you. I don't even know if that looks like anything. Okay, now moving on to Miranda. I love Miranda. I think she is so funny. I think she's so smart. I agree with a lot of people who say that she has she has the best head on her shoulders. She definitely has a lot of self-awareness. And I love that she's just like no BS. When she said, oh, I'm not doing this for the clout, I'm doing it for the money. I thought that was so freaking funny. And yeah, real girl, that's real. And she really is a true friend. I hated watching that scene with Shania. Girl, no. Oh my gosh. Shania made me so freaking mad. Yeah, I'm like not even gonna give her any more airtime than I already have. Also, I did want to mention that Miranda and Chase are separated, but they're technically not divorced yet. And I'm very curious about that situation and like how that is working out for them. I know she has said something along the lines of like they just haven't filed yet, but they live separately and all of that. And Chase basically just spends a lot of time chasing after her. I do appreciate the like I don't even follow any of the people. I don't even follow any of the cast of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on social media for the most part. Just because I like being on the outside. But every time I get suggested a video, I will frequently get suggested videos from Chase, and I love the work that he is doing to promote UTA. The Utah transportation is amazing. There is room for improvement, but I think overall it is pretty fantastic, all things considered. Especially since in Indiana, they are very against public transportation. They do have buses and the like, but very few and far between. And it just made me appreciate Utah's public transportation so much more. The last person on the show I'm going to mention is Demi. Demi and her husband Brett had a scene at the very beginning of the show where Demi and Brett sing in a recording studio. They sing Cyndi Lauper's True Colors. It is so painful. I was obsessed with that song. My mom is a huge Cyndi Lauper fan, and I actually posted a TikTok where I make fun of it. And I like make fun of her, but I'm also very much the same. I'm also like micromanaging. I think you're a little sharp. I think you're a little flat. But all the while I suck. All the while I suck at it. But it's whatever. I did think it was fun and sweet how Brett was like, oh my gosh, I think you should do that more. I thought that was cute because I was like, okay, look, Demi wants to be a singer. And he is supporting. See, their age gap I think is weird. Because when she said, oh, my husband's 46 and I'm 29, I was like, huh? But honestly, she's another one that I don't really want to talk about that much and give too much time, airspace on my channel. I don't even know if any of this looks good. I just kind of went with the vibes. This looks a whole mess. I promise I'm a beauty guru. Okay. A little bit of RMS. Lip to cheek and demure. I feel like that improved things quite a bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on my cheeks too. I love that like baby pink cheek. I think that's really pretty. So yeah, overall the show is just juicy as always, very much serving and delivering drama. I am intrigued by like what's gonna go on because they just announced that the show is going to Orange County. So a lot of the women are moving to LA. So I'm a little curious as to what that means for if the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives are going to stay in Utah and there's going to be a Utah franchise and an Orange County franchise. And I'm very curious as to who's going to be in what. Like, who are they casting for the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives in Salt Lake City? I would like to know because I want to get more of the juice. I'm mostly done talking about these people, but I just need to finish putting on my eyes. I've been curling my eyelashes significantly more. I used to think curling your eyelashes just was like a non-important step, and it took me to the ripe age of my late 20s to understand the value of it. Are my lips even showing up, really? Yeah, basically the main takeaways that I have for you in this video are to love yourself, prioritize yourself and your future. Ultimately, only you control you and you control your destiny. Yes, there's a lot of external factors, but again, start with you. It all starts with you. And you actually have way more control than you think you do. And the other point is, again, learn how to regulate yourself. Learn how to sense when you're getting upset and take a step back. I had to tell myself, like, I have to, like, think of myself as if I'm a different person. Like, I'm like, hey, like, sometimes I have to, like, step outside of myself and be like, okay, what is going on and what is really going on? Especially, like, as someone who's very dramatic and loves to overreact. Because honestly, instead of crying over a horrible man, you could spend your time journaling and daydreaming and making your dreams become a reality. Like, I'm telling you, girl, like, put together a vision board. Like, all the time that you're spending thinking about, does this man like me? Spend that time putting together all of your dreams in a vision board. Like, make a little collage, whether that's with some magazines or if you're going to use Pinterest or something like that. Google Slides. I do a Google Slides manifestation board. That's my thing, because then it's like you put together the vision and then you start doing all of those things that lead to that. Like, but again, if you're spending all of your mental energy being worried and hurt by another person, it's gonna take away from you. And so it's like, okay, how to gear your energies more towards yourself. So yeah, this is the look. Let me zoom you out. I totally should have done a get ready with me for, like, before going to Heather McDonald's show. That would have been so much fun. I was in such a rush though, and I was such a mess, but I did look really good and I felt really cute, so that was fun. And one last little story time. So basically I went there, I took my little Uber, I got there, and it was so much fun. I went by myself and I sat next to two gorgeous Juicy Scoopers, and they were so nice and so kind to me, and I got my little cocktail and I enjoyed the show and I was laughing so freaking hard. Heather was doing very timely, trending jokes about the current situation that was happening with Taylor Frankie Paul. And just check her out. I'm going to link everything that I used, everything that I talked about. I'm going to try to link down below in the description box. Thank you for using my links. It is no additional cost to you, but it does help me and my channel out so much. But yeah, I enjoyed the show, and then I did do the meet and greet, and Heather was so nice. I like talked her ear off for like way too long, but she was so nice, and her son took the cutest pictures of us. He even had a light. I was like, oh my gosh, like, he knows what's up. And I left the meet and greet, and as soon as I like stepped out of the double doors, I stepped down on the curb and fell hard. I like fell to my knees, probably mostly to thank Jesus and God for making this opportunity happen. And it was hilarious because there was like a couple in front of us and then a group of teenage girls, which is like, oh my gosh. Yeah, totally the people that you want to fall in front of. And one of the men in front of me, this guy turned and he's like, oh my gosh, just so you know, you still looked really cute, and those shoes are super cute. So I hope it was totally worth the fall. And then the group of teenage girls just like left. I don't think anyone laughed at me, but even if they did, I was laughing at myself. I popped right back up and went and got my Lyft to go home. But yeah, so that is my story time. That's all the unbelievable stuff that happened to me this week, or like the past couple of weeks. And I would love to know what hilarious, funny stories you have. If you relate to anything if any of this stuff has happened to you, and like, I want to know what you think. I want to know what your opinions are of the whole situation. Please let me know down below. Basically, I cry. I'm like upset for everyone in this situation because who can continue in that sentiment? I can't. And so with that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave me a comment down below. Comment down below where you're watching me from. If you made it this far, please leave these emojis down below. Leave the rolling crying emoji, the funny ha 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 crying, rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Please leave that. Make sure to stay tuned, follow me on social media. This has just been so fun. I can't wait to chat with you down below. Okay, I'll let you go now. Bye.